starting with Queen Taisha. Will you unmute yourself just one by one and introduce yourself, a quick little bio, and then we will get started.
Yes, good morning, everyone. My name is Taisha Gresham. I am a wife, a mother, and the co-founder and CEO of Lifeline Certification and Staffing, which is a post-secondary school in Birmingham, Alabama, where we specialize in nursing assistant training and CPR certification. I am so blessed to be able to, I'm a nurse by trade, have been a nurse for 20 years, and to be able to combine my love for nursing, my love for helping people with my love for education into one is what birthed Lifelines. So I am so excited to be here this morning, so excited to share. I cannot wait. And good morning.
Hi, I'm Shalene. I love how in my little video loop it says I'm a domestic engineer, i.e. I stay home with 4 kids, but I stay home with all the kids. I don't have a major business. I'm just a regular old woman using coffee and Jesus to make it through the day, balance out all the craziness. It is a beautiful thing. Coffee is the nectar of heaven. If you haven't tried it, go there. But my heart and passion is for women to just help them get through the muck. And while I'm going through the muck with them, I mean, I definitely have not arrived, but we press on. Just to get through all the muck and the chaos and the noise and just get to the truth, the real truth, not our version of the truth or somebody else's version of the truth, but God's version of the truth, to live the truth that brings us to freedom. And that's just my passion. Thank y'all for letting me speak.
Good morning. I'm Jasmine Glover. I'm from Montgomery, and I live in Tuscaloosa now. I'm a licensed cosmetologist as well as a cosmetology instructor. So, but I'm a child of God. That's my main thing. That's my main thing. So yeah, good morning. I'm so thankful just to be here.
Hello, everybody. I'm Anjanette Hicks. I'm so excited to be here. I am from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I have some, and when I say mother, I am a mother. I haven't birthed children, but I have children, believe me. spiritual children and spiritual children in love. So I do have children. I'm a cosmetologist. I'm a lover of Jesus, first of all. If you know me, you know that's my main. Anything that's attached to Anjanette needs to be about Jesus. So I want you to know that my calling is to relay God's heart in anything that I do. I feel called to people, spirit, soul, and body. That's the whole person. So you'll see me with, I've opened up a new business beginning of this year, Queens Wear Bling. You see the bling, that's the outward adornment, as you can tell. I've been a cosmetologist, master cosmetologist over about almost 30 years. So that's adornment as well. My husband and I are pastors, the singles pastors at our church, Daystar Family Church. We love our singles. So honored to do that. We're honored to pour into our singles. We've been here for pretty much all my life. I've never lived anywhere else. You can follow me if you want to follow me on my YouTube channel, God's Heart First, where I upload God's heart from my perspective. And I'm glad to be here, and I love you all, and can't wait to receive from all these beautiful ladies in this panel. I love you.
Well, ladies, let's get ready to bloom and be great. We're going to let Queen Taisha start us off with She Births.
All right. So thank you again, Pastor V, Pastor Betty, She Speaks Sisters, just for allowing me the opportunity. I didn't say that to begin with, but I want to make sure that I do, because I am so honored and so grateful to have this opportunity. So again, I will be speaking on She Births. with the subtitle of Created for Such a Time as This. My references will be from the book of Esther, and then also I'll touch on Galatians 1:15 and Psalm 139 and 13. But to birth is the emergence or the coming into existence of a thing, okay? There's a process to your purpose, but there's also preparation that has to be done to get to your purpose, which leads me to my 3 P's for today: process, preparation, and purpose. Okay. So process is just a series of actions or steps that you have to take in order to get to the desired result. But before you can even begin your process, an implantation has to occur. Now, as I said earlier, I'm a nurse by trade, so I'll reference some medical things, okay? So implantation is the process of attachment to the uterus, all right? Now, with that being said, everybody's process is not the same. Now, so let's talk about, just briefly about processes. And I'm gonna use myself as an example with just natural birth. So I am the mother of 3, but I've had 4 pregnancies. My first pregnancy with my son was a natural birth. Everything went well, no meds, I was a G, okay? My second pregnancy was a planned C-section that didn't go as planned. It turned into an emergency. However, when they got my daughter out, there was no reason for the emergency. So sometimes things don't go as planned and we don't know why, okay? Now, my third pregnancy was a miscarriage, which just means that the process was aborted. Again, I didn't understand why, but understand that God works behind the scenes, even in that. My 4th pregnancy was with my baby son, Lil Dyson. And all I can say is God restores even after loss, okay? I was able to still carry the promise that God had given to my husband after the loss. There was no reason why I should have had a miscarriage when I had 2 healthy pregnancies before that. They could not figure out why I did, but God knows, okay? So moving beyond that, I just want to say, even in my own personal life, I had, again, 4 pregnancies. Each process was different. So why would I allow the spirit of comparison to make me look at Shalene's process or Jasmine's process or Anjanette's process and say, well, why does my process not look like that when I had 4 processes of my own that were completely different? Okay, so keep that in mind. Your process is your process, and allow God to move you through your process the way He sees fit. And don't look at someone else's process and make yourself feel like you're not moving the way that you should, okay? Now, the next point, preparation. So in Esther 2:12, I was amazed just looking back at that it took her a whole year of preparation before she was able to go see the king, right? A whole 12 months. We want to do a little bit of preparation and expect the promise, but it requires preparation. Preparation requires you to be in the right place at the right time, okay? And the environment has to be conducive for your growth. So again, I told you I'm a nurse. So let's think about this whole implantation thing again, right? If the fertilized egg is not planted in the uterus, then the embryo cannot develop the way that it's supposed to. It will not develop normally. And what that would cause is what's called an ectopic pregnancy, which just means that that something is medically wrong or out of position. So it's in the wrong place and it's out of position, okay? which means if our environment can be a matter of life and death. If you are not planning in the right environment, it can be a matter of life and death. Okay? Now, my third point, purpose. Your purpose begins before birth. Pastor V was kind of all over my stuff in Psalm 139, but Psalm 139:13 says we was knitted together in our mother's womb. And then also in Galatians 1:15, it tells us that we were chosen. He chose us even before birth for the purpose that he has for us. So he has promised us that we will birth the visions, the dreams, the plans, the purposes that he has planted on the inside of us. But understand that he planted those seeds way before you were even the person that you were nowhere near the person that you were or need to be in order to fulfill it. Okay. With that being said, Esther was born to save her people. But do you think she knew that? She didn't have any idea that she was born to save her people. But she was. So I just want to give you a few phases, and I'll be wrapping it up. When you're going through your birthing process, know that there are some phases that you'll go through. You'll go through a development phase, which is a phase of just watching and waiting. It's almost like pregnancy. You just wait. You know that it's happening, and you just watching and you waiting. Okay? Then there's a discovery phase or discernment phase where things are being revealed. Okay? Then you have what's called a transition phase. Now, this is the place where you're willing to give up who you are to become who you're destined to be. Okay? And then the final phase is just your birthing phase. This is where you've endured some pains, some pressures, but that process has now gotten you to a place where you can celebrate the promise that God has given you. All right? So that is what God has given me. I am grateful for the process. I am, again, as I said, I am the CEO and co-founder of Lifeline Certification, which was birthed out of my desire to love, teach people, women. I am called a women, and to be able to walk through that process. And even in that, knowing that there were times where I wanted to quit. There were times where I wanted to throw in the towel. There were times where I was like, God, I just can't do this. There were sleepless nights. There were tears. But God. Even in the process, I thought that I just wanted to teach CNAs. That's what I thought. But going through the process, I realized that they had changed some things. So again, plans had changed. I couldn't just go and teach CNAs. I had to become a school. So I didn't just submit an application to the state of Alabama. I had to submit an application to the Alabama Community College System. I could have quit, but I knew what God had promised me. And because I didn't quit, now I am the owner of a Shelton state. To God be the glory. To God be the glory. You can do it. Stay encouraged, be encouraged, and know that you can birth your promise, but you got to stay the course. Thank you. Love you guys.
Woo! Girl, I'm so thankful to God for recording because I didn't have my pen ready, but oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Whew, we knew this morning God was going to do it. He always blows my little pea mind of just how awesome his word is. And congratulations. You know, I'm so proud of you. Just even back when you were still in Tuscaloosa and the move came and we were like, like, whew, what is this? But even in that, in our conversation, we knew it had the process. Trust the process. We knew that that was part of the process. We knew, you know, and even in the distance that you put between, that was put between, you know, us, Birmingham, your sisters in Tuscaloosa, it's like, no, you're right down the street. You know, you're right down the street. It's like so much smoother and so much, and you have grown so much, and just, I'm just very proud of you, and I thank you so much. We're so honored that you were obedient to your 3 Ps, and we wish you much continued success. We know that you're even going higher. You know, Shelton State is a community college, girl. You're a university. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's move out of the community. I heard global this morning. Okay, let's do it. Thank you so much, Ty. Okay, and so now we are ready for the audacious, most powerful vanilla sister, my daughter. I mean, this is my daughter, y'all. When she calls me mom and we're in public, the turn heads, that, you know, like, okay then. But we are ready for you, my darling. Take it away.
I'm definitely the milkman's daughter in this one, a milky white. I put color on this screen, I'm just saying. Y'all know it's true. Hi, everybody. My topic is She Lets Go. I might not have the favored topic among everybody who wants to listen. I know when Miss Betty asked me to speak on this subject, I was like, ugh, really? Okay. But hopefully what I have to say will encourage you all. It helped me in the process. Like I said before, I've by no means been perfected or arrived at some place. We're all pressing forward. So let's just go higher. Anybody that really knows me really well knows that I love the whole Exodus story. So that's kind of where I'm coming from here. At the beginning of Exodus 2, it starts the whole story about Moses, and his mother, Yocheved, was put in a very, very difficult position because all the Egyptian authorities had just decreed that every male Hebrew child born was to be executed. And then Moses was born. And she's fearing for his life. So she makes a basket, lines it with pitch, and puts him in the river and just hopes that maybe this will save him. And obviously, that's not the way that she wanted all this stuff to go. That's not the way she wanted her baby's life to go or her family's life to go. She's already in a country that's not her own, not by her choice. And she has this group of people, this nation that she's part of. They're slaves to these people in this country, not by their choice. And now, because of their fear of her nation becoming stronger than they are, they've decreed for all the male babies to be born to try to weaken her nation. So she's in a really, really, really impossible situation. She should have been able to raise her baby with peace, without fear of his life, but it didn't get to happen. She should have gotten to see him grow up every single day of his life, but that didn't get to happen. She should have been able to see his girlfriends or see him build things or see him learn things, send him to school, but that didn't all happen. So she's put in this impossible situation, and the only thing that she can do is trust. She had to let go and trust that the God that she served could take care of what she could no longer hold on to. I'm sure that she felt pretty afraid For him, she's about to put her baby in a river with no guarantee that he's going to be okay, none whatsoever. She just knew that she had to let him go because that's the only way he could have the chance. He would be taken from her if she didn't. Wasn't fair. It wasn't right. She didn't deserve it. She didn't do anything that would cause this to happen. Obviously, her children didn't do anything that would cause this to happen. It's not the way things should have gone. She should have gotten to raise her baby with no fear, complete peace. Things should not have been this way. It should have been different, but they weren't. She had to let go of what should have been and deal with what was. She had to choose. Am I going to passively let go, or am I going to actively let go? She could have chosen to be passive, and she would have let go as the Egyptian guards were taking her baby from her hands and killing him. But if she chose to actively let go, she had a chance to save his life. She did what she knew to do. She chose to do what she could do, what she had in her hands, what talent, what gift she had. She made a basket. That's what she knew how to do. She found some pitch. She lined the thing. She prepared a place for what was precious for her and precious to her. And she put that thing inside what she knew how to do, and she let it go, trusting that God was going to take care of it. And sometimes we face really tough situations, and we have to let go of what should have been. Maybe it wasn't fair, and maybe you didn't deserve it. Maybe it wasn't your fault. Maybe it was. But regardless, what should have been is no longer an option anymore. You have to decide, are you going to passively let go, or are you going to actively let go? You can stand still. You can be mad, you can be sad, you can be angry about what should have been, about what is now, about how things are going, and all that's fine for a minute. You can be there for a minute. We're humans. We need that emotional time to just, but don't stay there. Don't stay there. It's a guaranteed death if you do. Just look around you. What's available? What can you do? Find that thing that you can do. Find the basket, find the pitch, and give that thing a fighting chance. Maybe it wasn't meant for you to see it grow. Maybe you were just the one that was supposed to birth it, and it's somebody else's responsibility, and they're calling to watch that thing to grow and help it to grow. But don't kill it with your despair. Don't agonize over what should have been, or what you dreamed this thing should be, or what you just knew that it was destined to be, what you just knew that it could be. It's not that thing anymore. And if you try to hold on to it, you could lose your life as well. If Yocheved had held on to Moses, her family could very possibly have all been killed or hurt very badly for breaking the law. Don't lose who you are or who you could be, lamenting over what's no longer your responsibility. Release it into God's hands and trust that he can not only save that thing, but he can save you as well and those around you. Got a few verses that I want to share with you all. I was looking up things about letting go, and this first one, I know I've read the Bible entirely, but I guess maybe I never read it in this version, but it just really hit me. So I wanted to share it with you all. It's Proverbs 4:25 and 26. It says, let your eyes look directly forward and your gaze be straight before you. Ponder the path of your feet, then all your ways will be sure. And that just really hit me. There's this really silly commercial that used to come on where these football players are on the phone with each other, and one of them makes a comment to the other one about only a fool trips over what's behind him, while he's in the middle of putting on his football gear after he's retired, just suiting up. And the whole joke was that he's telling somebody, don't trip over what's behind you. But when I heard that, it totally hit me between the eyes, because I do that all the time. I'm like crying, saying I want to go forward. Meanwhile, I'm walking backwards and falling the whole time. And it seems ridiculous, but we do it. And we're like, I want to get over there. I want to get over there. And I need to be over there. And this is where I should be. It's like, well, turn the direction of your feet around, just take a step in the right direction. Stop looking back and tripping over what ain't happened anymore. Stop tripping over what's back there. Look at what's in front of you. If you ponder your feet and the paths of your feet in front of you, then your ways will be sure. If you can't see what's behind you, you don't know where you're stepping. You might be stepping into something you don't want to step in, because we all know what comes out from behind. So don't go there. Don't go there. The other verse is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him and he will straighten your paths. Probably all heard that one, but we still need that bullet. The last is Isaiah 43, 18 through 19. Remember not the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Woo. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. And this really speaks to me for this story about Exodus, because this is in Isaiah. Exodus is way at the beginning. But Moses got to experience a way in the wilderness, and he got to experience rivers in the desert because Jehovah gave him a chance. She gave the nation of Israel a chance because she let go. I don't know what would have happened to Israel if she hadn't done it. It may have just been another 400 years. Who knows? But she wasn't just saving herself. She wasn't just saving this one thing that was important to her. When she let it go, it had a ripple effect that affected thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people into the future. And she didn't know. She just knew that things could not stay the way they are. Things were no longer what they should have been. She had to deal with them where they were and move forward. I think it's kind of ironic what Ty said, because as I was laying down in the bed last night, I was in that place where I'm almost drifting off. And I was praying for today and what would be said today. And I heard in my spirit, I want to send the pregnant women. And I just thought, maybe you're not at the Yohabit state yet. Maybe your baby hasn't been born. Maybe you haven't had time with it yet, but you still fear what's out there. You still fear what might happen to it if it gets birthed. Things around you might look shaky. I'm sure there were some pregnant women when this decree happened, and they were probably scared to death about what would happen once their babies were born. Maybe you have something on the inside of you that needs to be birthed. Maybe you have something on the inside of you that needs a chance, and you're holding on to it well beyond where you should because you're afraid to let it go. You're afraid to let it out. You're afraid to give it life because you don't know what's on the other side of that life. You don't know what it's going to experience. You don't know who's going to do what to it, but it's not yours to decide. It's not yours to hold on to. If you hold on to it, it will die. Ty could probably tell you, a baby that's in the womb too long, that environment becomes toxic. It can kill the mom, it can kill the baby. There's a point where enough is enough. You've got to let out what needs to be let out. You've got to birth what has to be birthed because it's got something that it needs to do. There's a thing that needs to happen. There's a people that need to be saved. There's a process, a purpose that needs to happen. And you are not the one that gets to decide where that goes. And yes, it was given to you. Yes, you're the incubator, but you have part of the plan. It's God's to decide where it goes. It's his responsibility, his job to protect it once it's out. If he gave it to you, he can take care of it. Period. The end. That's it. One more thing before I go, just a little side note. I'm sure Pharaoh's daughter was not thinking that the way that a baby should come to her was by going to take a bath. But she had to let go of the way that she should get a baby. And she became the adopted mother of the leader of a nation. So don't despise the babies that float your way. Things like ministries, opportunities, relationships, jobs, positions, mentees, people you need to disciple, or actual babies. Thinking that that's not the way that things should come to you. Maybe God has a different plan beyond what you can see, beyond what you think should be. So let go of how you should have these things come to you and just draw the baby out of the water. I love you guys. Thank you for letting me speak.
I can't even speak. It's just like, Y'all, we have this thing on Tuesdays when someone says something so profound, Nadia gets up and runs. And it started when we would meet in the room, and Nadia would just get up and take off and start running. And my whole being was saying, run, Nadia, run, just run, Nadia, run, just run. Oh, just keep running. It was so powerful, so needed, so in line with, God. We should stop being amazed at what God does to truly be. I mean, He is God. We should stop being, I never want to stop being in awe of Him, but truly how amazing He is should just stop knocking me off my seat, because He is God and He is so amazing, and He does things that we could never, I already know this. I can never think of what He wants to say. It's just so far out of my reach. And then when it comes, it's like, my goodness, God, you are so awesome. And Shishi, you are such, when I said God gives each of us a voice for a particular person or a particular audience, a particular people, your voice, I mean, it reaches me, but I know that it penetrates a particular woman, a particular audience of women. It penetrates. Your delivery is one that no one else on this panel could deliver. And it's because you are that, I'm that regular mom, or I'm that, you and Jesus and your coffee. But my God has blessed you to be the deliverer of so many messages that we have heard in the past 6 years, and that you continue to deliver in a fashion that only Shalene, I'm sorry, only Shalene can deliver. And thank you so much for today and the delivery, and saying yes and continuing to fight. And even in your, it's only through what you're going through that we can see what we're going through, because sometimes we don't identify what we're going through, but through your eyes and your words and your heart, we see so much. And there's so much care and love in your deliverance that I just thank you. And I love you from just every fiber of my being. I love you so much. Thank you. So now we have Jasmine, who's the mentor. And Jasmine is, y'all, I can just, God has blessed me so. Can I just give him he has blessed me so, surrounding me with so many. Jasmine came out of nowhere, like out of nowhere, y'all. And it's like, I have known this child. She has been my child forever. And she just came out of nowhere. We just met, and then we didn't see each other, but there was a connection, a seed that was planted, a connection that was started, and she vanished. And just like poof, just like she came, she was gone. And just God at the right time, his timing is so impeccable. And I know it was just when she needed us and we needed her, and he brought her back, and it was just like immediately I knew. She was even surprised I remember who she was. And y'all, it was such a story. in Walmart, as big as Walmart is, we were both in places in Walmart that we had not intended on being. Like where I was not on my list. And where she was like, why am I here? Why am I on this side of the store? I'm not even here for anything over here. And it was just a glorified holy collision right there in Walmart. And here she is. And I love her so much. So give us your delivery of, if you have our undivided ear on She Mentors.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me start off by saying, God just keep blowing my mind, okay? Everything that I had, let me sit back and get real, because I planned this thing out and it is not going the way I wanted it to go, okay? So I've been up and just worried, sick, like, God, my delivery is just not, it's not here. I can't deliver this message until the ladies before me. And I said, my God, you are good. And I will praise you. My God, y'all finna see, watch this. So, all right, let me calm down, because God done got me excited. I'm about to run up in this house. I'm so grateful for the platform. I'm so grateful for the ladies, because I'm still growing. And Pastor V, my mama on here, she don't play about me. Look, she don't play about people calling me her y'all child now, okay? No, it's an honor and a privilege just to be here, just to be in the midst of you all, because I'm like Shalene, I'm just a regular person, you know? But thank you. So I'll speak on identity first. That's one of the things that I've gained being a part of She Speaks, and I got to figure out who I am by coming to She Speaks. And then you start, you know, once you realize who you are, you like, okay, all right, let me act like it. Let me walk in my purpose, okay? Right? Things start to align and we get in our place, and we start, like I like to say, fulfilling our daily assignments. In 2 Timothy 3:17, then you will be God's servant, fully mature and perfectly prepared to fulfill any assignment God gives to you. God called us to spread the gospel. Yeah, He called us to spread His word, to be disciples. I honestly feel that everyone has a purpose or an assignment to be a mentor or mentee at some point in their lives. In Matthew 28:19, therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. All right, mentoring and discipleship, they go hand in hand. And you know, at first, when I first started hearing those words, I was like, I don't want no part. Nope. That sounds like something for, you know, people that's so righteous and courageous and bold and so on fire for God. And God was like, you got that all wrong. Let me drop something in your heart. So prior to me even being saved, I guess you would say, I had this vision or this goal that I wanted to be a mentor for cosmetology students. I wanted to be that person. And God said, yeah, you're going to mentor those, but you will also mentor those that are not in the same field or have the same talents as you. So now when I think of mentoring, you know, now within my journey, I think about She Speaks and what we bring to the table to encourage, to empower, to engage, to educate, to influence, and to inspire women and men, using God's word as our manual, because that's what Jesus did. So I titled this message, Moses to Joshua, Mentoring Disciples. So after you all spoke, my mind, I literally could have just cried, because I was telling God, my word is just not good enough. God, I can't go present myself with this message. And it falls in line. It was ordained for me to speak after you, Shalene. It was ordained for this message to go. So let's get started. If you read the Bible, you'll see that Moses mentored Joshua. Thank God his mother let him go, right? And Joshua became this great, phenomenal leader. And now the world that we live in, Lord, we need a great, phenomenal Christian leader like Joshua to lead us to where we need to go. And however, we can't have that if we didn't have the Moses. If Moses wasn't mentoring and pouring into Joshua, we wouldn't have this. We cannot expect future leaders to be so great, to be so phenomenal, if no one is pouring into them. If no one is investing their time, their energy into them. So I look into this camera to say, you are being called to make a difference in people. You are being called to be the Moses. Now that you know your identity and your calling, your purpose, let's figure out how we're going to do this. See, mentoring is just you simply guiding others through your testimony, your experience, through God's word. We should build relationships. See, God will place people in your life, in your path, that you'll be like, I don't know why I keep seeing these people. I don't know why these people keep crossing my mind. Mm-mm. 9 times out of 10, God placed that person in your path, not to cross your path, in your path, because they have similar testimonies. You went through what you went through. As my mama say, I ain't go through this for myself. I already know. This had to be for somebody else. So I ask you to ask God, who am I supposed to lead? Why is this person keep coming up? Why do I think of them often in the middle of the day? What do you want me to do? God may be calling you to mentor them. Don't judge them. You see, your testimony will be the reason why they trust you, why you all build a solid relationship. Mentees don't know they need mentors until they receive it. So like me, I'm going along in life. You don't know, like it's like you don't know you need something until you get it. I didn't know I need mentors until I received such wonderful people in my life that's pouring into me so that I can now pour into someone else. So that I don't just take it all and just overflowing, but it goes nowhere. That ain't what God called me to do. God told me to let me grab you by the hand. Come on, sugar. Come on, follow me. Because the road that was paid for me is narrow. The road that's paid for you, I probably already been on it. I can help you so that you don't turn to the left or the right. I can go with you. I can walk with you. I can do this journey with you. Now, sometimes mentors are not for a lifetime. Sometimes it's just for a season, and that's okay. That's okay. Just be obedient. That's all I ask. You see, this world right now where we're living, God is coming back soon. This culture is going against everything that God is saying. I mean, completely against what God is saying. God is saying, I need Moses. I need my Moses to come up and let them know my truth. Because Satan can make it look just like it. Just like it. It's just a little off. We're here to say, baby, that ain't right. Let me give you God's truth. Let me give you foundation. Especially with these new age spiritualities going on and how Satan can really corrupt your mind and lead you in the wrong way. We don't worship goats and calves and stuff like that. But we got different religions and pride and all these different things that has our attention that looks right, almost right. That's why we're here. That's why we're called to build up the Joshuas, the new generation. Now, mentors and mentees, it doesn't have to be an age thing. because I might mentor someone that is older than me, but younger than me in their spiritual journey. Okay? Don't look at age. Ask God who he called you to be obedient to. All right, let me go back. I found this verse in Joshua 24:23. Now, therefore, put away the strange gods which are among you, and incline your heart unto the Lord God of Israel. Then, Matthew 9:37, he turned to his disciples and said, the harvest is huge and ripe, but there are not enough harvesters to bring it all in. I'm begging you to be obedient. There's plenty of people out here that just need you to say yes, to be obedient to God's word. That's all he's asking you to do. He's asking you to be obedient and to be influential. He's giving you influence wherever you are. I don't care if you're at the gas station, at work. It's somebody that's in your path that needs you, that needs your influence, that needs your voice. Just be open to it. John 20:21, Jesus repeated his great reading, peace to you. And he told them, just as the Father sent me, I'm now sending you. God is sending you to encourage someone, to lead someone, to hold their hand, to empower, to inspire. Open up your mouth and simply lead. That's it. He wants you to invest in someone. Imagine if everyone invested in one person. God's kingdom would be filled. I don't want anyone to perish. I don't want anyone to not know God's word. That's our job. That's our assignment. So I say again, please seek God on who you're supposed to lead, who you're called to lead, so that they can be obedient and lead someone else to God. I challenge you to bloom so that others can be great.
Okay, y'all. Everything, drop the mic, the glasses, okay. Okay. Jazz, thank you. You queens are leaving me absolutely speechless. That was so powerful, so anointed. Girl, I just kept saying, preach, preach, girl. I did. I was like, preach, preach. Oh, you preaching good. You're preaching. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love that you don't know that you need a mentor sometimes, but just be who God has called you to be. Oh, thank you. I love you so much. Love you. Mwah. All right, Nettie. This is our bring it on home, girl. This is our bloom and be great in the flesh.
Yes.
I mean, you want to talk about blooming all over the place. This is a field of blooms.
Yes.
And Jeanette Hicks is a field of blooms. She's just not a bloom. She is a field of blooms, y'all. When I tell you, whatever she puts her mouth and hands to flourishes, because she only touches and says what God instructs her to do. So there's never a question about what Aunt Jeanette is doing, because you always know if she's doing it, God told her to do it. If she's saying it, God told her to say it. So there's never, ever, this is one queen, you never, ever have to question her motives. You never have to judge what she's saying. You never have to think about where she's coming from. It's always crisp. It's always clear. You always will understand it. You don't have to take a class in reading between the lines. It's real. It's raw. It's unfiltered, straight from the Father. And I love this about Anjanette because she is real. She, I mean, she's as real. There's no in between. I love it. I love her because there is no filter. She is our field of bloom. And I love her so much. And we love you so much, Queen Anjanette. You now have the floor.
Wow. Oh, thank you for that, Miss V. You messed me up. You messed me up. Thank you for that. I'm so honored. All the words that came from you blessed my heart. It blessed me. I need you to know how that blessed me. To know that you see into my heart. You see that you have a glimpse into who God has called me to be. We all need that. It's funny that my title is She Blooms. And when you gave me that title, I said, Lord, she blooms. And to go along with my calling, he said, yeah, when you bloom, others bloom. You don't bloom for yourself. You don't bloom for yourself. It's never for you. It's always, it's for you. It nurtures you. It fulfills you for your destiny, your purpose, Ty. But when you bloom, that fragrance that comes off of your bloom is supposed to be for everybody else's benefit. It's supposed to bless, nurture everyone else. As women, she blooms, that's everybody. Any late panelist on here could have had she blooms because we all bloom. Everything that has been spoken before now goes under that she blooms. Ty, the process, that's all in blooming. The preparation, the purpose. Stay in the course. When I heard stay in the course, stay planted. Stay planted. Shalene, don't kill it. Don't despise it. Don't your despair. Don't kill it with your despair. I got that from Shalene. Don't lose who you are. Jasmine, she mentors. Moses, that's all in she blooms. We're supposed to mentor someone else. Your bloom is not just for you to bloom. It's for that around you. All the flowers and the blossoms that are around you, they should receive something from your bloom. If your bloom is not nurturing, it's not mentoring, it's not lifting, it's not watering, it's not inspiring, it's not breathing life to the blooms around you, your bloom has lost its purpose. Now what God gave me, she blooms. Let's first of all, I want to talk about a bloom and what it means. When you look up bloom, the opening of a flower. First of all, we know when a flower opens, things happen. You know when a flower opens, all kinds of bees and insects and all kinds of things are being nurtured from that bloom. We are being nurtured from that bloom. Just the very scent of the bloom when it opens up. Oh, it's enlightening to us. It's there for us. It means blossom. Where blossom means a flower, especially one indicating that a fruit tree is fruiting. Everything that God has made, there's fruit. And when your bloom blooms, baby, you bear fruit. There's fruit coming from your bloom. And you know that during the time of blooming, first of all, if we're gonna bloom, you gotta be planted. On the first Zoom, She Speaks Bloom, someone mentioned, and it's stuck with me and it's been in me, it won't leave. We are to be planted in the royal soil of love. That is the fertilizer for us to bloom, guys. If we want to be that mentor, we want to bloom, we want to be the fruit that's nurturing other flowers around us. We have to be planted in the royal soil of love. I had to bring it back. That God wants that to resonate in everybody's spirit. That is your fuel. That's what fuels you. That's the fertilizer to make your bloom grow big and strong and tall. Your roots to go strong and deep. Deep roots. We rather have deep roots than just have a pretty bloom. Let's not just be pretty blooms and flowers. Let's be rooted deep in the royal soil of love. I want to talk about how we keep that bloom, how we as nurturers, as mentors, as all of that God has called this flower to be, how to stay healthy in that. We want to stay healthy. You can go to look in a garden. We got, look at Miss V, beautiful blooms behind her head. Okay, well, that's the way we want to look at all blooms to be beautiful. But sometimes blooms die. Okay, they die. And I feel like God gave me the revelation of when something wilters and dies, it's lacking something. There's some nutrients that's not been given to that bloom or that flower. It can be planted in the right soil, but it can be something that has tainted that bloom. We have to be aware that sometimes you have to go out and treat your garden. You got to spray your garden with stuff because something is coming, eating up my garden. It's eating up my crop. It's eating up my blooms. You know, that we didn't plant that for that to do that. But it is so. We have to know that just like God has prepared for us, His purpose for us to bloom and be great. We have an adversary that's coming to try to tear that bloom down and want to eat away at that bloom. But we need to make sure my purpose, God knows my heart is to shine the light on what can hinder that bloom. Love is the main fertilizer, guys. The Bible tells us to guard our heart. Guard our heart. He said it's wicked, above all is wicked. We can't, who knows it? We are to guard our heart. If you want to bloom, if we want to continue to bloom, also when you bloom, you find that it's not just one bloom, it's multiple blooms. You have multiple blooms. It's not just one thing that you're going to do. He's going to reveal multiple places that he's calling you to. And he reveals them, I call them secret treasures. That God, that's been in you since the foundation. Your purpose has already been there. He's put it in you from the foundation of the world. Before you were in your mother's womb, it was put in you already who you're called to be. But he will reveal them one by one, when you're planted in that fertile soil of love. Love. If you look around, I feel like there's some people that's watching saying, I know I'm called to bloom, but I feel stunted. I can't bloom. I want to bloom, but I just can't bloom. I can't bloom. Well, let me tell you the reason why some of you can't bloom, because the bloom next to you is not speaking into your life. That's supposed to mentor you. That bloom is supposed to speak life into that bloom. I feel like to come on here, I'm supposed to pray to release through, I bloom, you bloom, she blooms, we bloom. Speaking to the next bloom side of you. It's not just your business to bloom on your own. It's not your business just to bloom on your own. When he placed you in that garden, he placed you there because he knew the other blooms that would be around you. Let's fertilize, let's speak life. As women, we're called to bloom. We were born to bloom. Spiritually, we're called to bloom. Naturally, our natural bodies were called to bloom from when we first got into earth. Look what happened. Over time, you grew. You start growing, then stuff started blossoming and blooming. We were called to bloom. Let's bloom. Your very creator created you to bloom, just naturally. We're called to bloom. I put it right here. We're called to nurture. Hold on one second, let me get it. He said, she produces. We're called to produce. We already got it. We're already made to produce, Ty. As a mother, a wife. He's given us talents, our relationships. If you're in a relationship, they should benefit from your bloom. The sweet aroma of your bloom should bless those around you. They should leave your presence feeling like they had a deposit of something. She nurtures the seed until the bud appears. That's a woman. We nurture. We're nurture just a seed until a bud appears. All the way till you see the bloom. We were created to bloom. We were created. I bloom, you bloom. Release yourselves. Release yourselves. I feel like some women need someone to release me to bloom. I feel like I need permission to bloom. You don't need permission to bloom. God spoke it into you. He breathed it into you when he made you woman. Miraculously. You don't need permission. I love Miss Betty when she says unapologetically on who I am. I can't apologize for that. I gotta be me. We need authentic blooms. Let's be ourselves. There's beauty in that. Beauty in that. He brought the scripture to me. He said, only what hinders our bloom, of course, the love. He said, but it's the small foxes that spoil the vine. Part of my calling is to shed light on those things we don't want to talk about. We don't want to deal with. It's not for the world to see. It's for him to know. We all have those small foxes that spoil it. We all have that thing that we just can't seem to shake, that just won't let us go, Paul. We all have those things. Those things are sent to stunt your crop. It's sent to hinder your bloom, to put holes in your bloom, to taint your bloom, to taint the aroma of your bloom. I'm calling every bloom on here, every person watching, back to their natural purpose, their identity, their purpose. We give back the aroma, the true aroma that God has put in you for your particular bloom. For your particular bloom. Get planted. Stay planted in that royal soil of love. Guard that heart. I had a close friend of mine, sister. You need people in your life that can speak to you. That can speak to you so you can bloom. If you don't have people speaking to you, good, bad, everybody, he said he chastens those he loves. So no, we're not to receive anything that comes from people if it's a word of praise, if it's correction, if it's not wrapped in love, if it's not of him. It's all there just to prune your crop, your flower, to prune you so that you can become the bloom that you were called to be. I'm encouraging every panelist. It doesn't matter about the age. Wisdom doesn't come with age. It comes from God. It doesn't come with age. Speak to the blooms around you. You're going to be held accountable for that. You're leading people somewhere. You're leading them to him or away from him, which will enrich their lives so that they can bloom into the person that they're called to bloom. But in turn, when you obey and do what God is calling you to do, you'll bloom. It nurtures you because you're in his perfect purpose, divine purpose for your life. That is how you bloom. And don't be surprised. Once you step into that fertile soil, blooms are going to begin to pop up everywhere. New blooms from different seasons and new seasons of your life. You'll notice there's a whole nother bloom that you didn't even recognize this bloom. But just know he wants to use you. All you need to be is a willing vessel to be used and say, God, bloom through me. Bloom through me. For whatever that person needs, whoever needs it, bloom through me. When you come in contact with the person, they should feel that they have encountered the Spirit of God, meaning the fruit of the Spirit, love, patience, kindness, the whole nine. I feel inspired. You ladies have inspired me today. I feel nurtured. I feel nurtured. I feel like my soul has been watered. And that is what we're here to do. It's not about us, but we do want to watch those small foxes. Deal with them. Pluck them out. He separates the wheat from the tares. Pluck them out. We have to go and with our gardens, the crop needs to come forth for the nutrients of others. It's the nutrients of others. It's for others. Your beauty, the beauty of your crop is not for you. It's for others. Everything about you is not for you. It's for others. So you have to go and de-weed, pluck up those weeds, kill the bugs that you can't see that's eating away at your crop. But long as you're planted in that royal soil of love, nothing. If there's a defect in that love, if something's hindering that love, your crop will have a hindrance. We want that crop to grow. There's no limit to how far that crop will go. That crop will grow. So you'll find that even when I started Queens Wear Bling, all who know me know that I've always bedazzled everything. I love bling, and I was bedazzling, making initial shirts for my friends and all this stuff. And I finally, one day I said, it's time to do what I really like to do. I'm called to the whole person. I'm going to mentor you. I'm going to speak to your spirit. I'm going to do your hair and make sure you look good when you get out. And then I want to dress you. The whole nine, that's the whole person. I feel like he gave it to me. I want to make sure that is a calling that's upon my life, that I know my calling, my purpose. It's not about me. It's to make sure that the people around me have felt the effect of Anjanette, of the God call that's on my life, and the God call that's on Shalene's life, and the God call that's on Ty's life, and Jasmine's life. Miss Betty, I'm gonna wrap this up, but Miss Betty, I always tell her, she inspires me. When blooming, that's the bloom right there. She blooms. I don't care about age. I told her, it doesn't matter the age. Just watch her. She blooms, and that bloom get prettier and prettier. All different facets of it. Different angles of it. To the glory of God. It's to the glory of God. So just know, I want to leave you with love fertilizes your soil to bloom. And don't be afraid. You don't need permission to bloom. Blossom and bloom and be great. Be who you're called to be. The way is already there. Your place is already, the stage, the place has already been prepared for you. Just step into, walk in the shoes that you know that God has called you to walk in, that you've been afraid to put on. Put them on anyway. Put those shoes on. They do fit. They do fit. Well, they look like somebody else. No, they're you. He didn't make a mistake. Those are your shoes. Wear them. Put your shoes on and walk in the shoes that God has called you to walk in, even though you don't recognize them. But you're going to be amazed that once you put those shoes on, what's going to come from on that path that he's going to send you on. That's it. That's all I have right now, and I hope you all have been blessed. I thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh gosh, what did I tell y'all? A field of blooms. Didn't I say oh my goodness. Anjanette, thank you so much. Just when you thought it couldn't get any better, here comes another one. It's like, whoosh. You took my clothes out, so I mean, bloom and be great, don't be afraid. And you know what? When those shoes, I just had this vision when you said those shoes don't look like your shoes. Maybe that's an indication that you're not being who you're supposed to be.
It's a new thing.
It's a new thing. They don't look like your shoes because you're not being the person that those shoes belong to. So put those shoes on and become the bloom that you were intended to be. You were born to wear those shoes. Just because you don't act like the person that would wear those, you need to get your act together and put those shoes on and bloom and be great. How many times have I even said, oh, those are too something? Oh, those are not, that's not me. Oh, those are two.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not who I'm supposed to be. That's why I don't identify with that shoe.
Yes.
Mine to wear, and I need to wear it and wear it boldly. So, ladies, I thank you all. My panel, mwah! This panel was so amazing. It was just amazing. I thank you all for joining us. I thank you for all the queens that are on board with us. I thank you for blooming and being great with us, for Zooming with us on Tuesday. I encourage you to just join in sometimes with us and share a word with us sometimes on Tuesdays. Look forward to September. We have a whole new platform coming in September that will just blow your mind. Nadia, thank you to Nadia and Destiny, our technical support. We couldn't do it without you. We just thank you. You ladies are so amazing. The ones I'm looking at on screen and the ones that are behind these screens that I can't see. We love you. We honor you. We thank you so much for spending your Saturday morning with us. And we look forward to sharing many more. Thank you guys and have a wonderful weekend. We love you.